I hate playing chess against kids. And you know why? Because they're so good. I somehow always get destroyed when I play them. And that was why when I got asked, hey Anna, do you want to participate in an event where you will play chess against some of the strongest kids in America? I was like, do I? Do I want to? Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through the games, the emotions, and you're going to see if I got whooped by some kids on the chessboard or not. Now, these kids were insane. Like, they were so good. I started off by playing against Megan, and I played against each kid twice. Now, I will show you 4 games. I'll show you, the most fun games out of the 8 games that I played in total, because these games were crazy. Now, here's the thing. Megan has actually been the highest rated under 10 girl in the world. So she has, a little record with her, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm not gonna lie, the first game I played against Megan, I got outplayed, okay? She destroyed me, and I was like, man, this is the lowest rated kid out of all the kids that I'm gonna play, and I got outplayed on game number 1. So, did it feel good having to play 2 games against some of the kids that destroyed me? Maybe not, but you know what? This game was well, you guys are going to see how this game was, but this game was, So, let's go and start the game. E4, C5. I played a Sicilian, not because my cow opening is bad, but because I thought, you know what? I gotta be a little bit more of a classical woman. I gotta play, something a little bit more parents approved. So, knight of 3, E6. And now she went G3. This is the French variation of the Sicilian. Now, I went D5. I like going D5 just to immediately, take all the center. And she went bishop G2. I developed castles and knight C6. Now, just so you know, this was a blitz game and the time control was 5+1. And the format was that I was playing in a team called Streamers, and in that team it was me, it was Gotham Chess, International Master Eric Rosen, and also Grandmaster Arturs Neiksans, and we were facing the kids. So, I was in pretty good company on my team. So after knight c6, rook e1 check, bishop e7. I developed a piece at the same time as I was blocking a check. c3, she wanted to go d4, but she wanted to capture back with her pawn to not get an isolated pawn over there. Castles, d4, bishop g4. And you know what? In this position, I felt like, okay, Anna, you equalized against 9-year-old Megan. You did it. You didn't lose out of the opening. You got a good position. And so bishop e3, I captured in the center, and now it was a big chunk of captures, and I went rook c8 to place my rook maybe on c4, but also just to get my rook active. Now here she made a move that I didn't think was so great. And so after she went b4, I was like, okay, maybe my experience will make me play a better endgame. So b4, the issue with b4 is that actually she's now losing control of this pawn forever. Okay, so whenever you push a pawn twice or 2 steps, or whenever you push a pawn in general, you can't push back that pawn. So this pawn right here on c3 is forever going to be weak. There's never going to be a pawn defending it anymore. So long term, later on in the game, I might be able to attack it, especially whenever her knight and her queen are gone. I might be able to use some of my pieces to attack this pawn and maybe win it, which is the dream of a chess player, being a pawn up in an endgame. So a6, and now she developed rook e8. Now she went knight e5. She wanted to get the knight up to the center. I retreated to defend my pawn. Knight b3, she really wanted to get this square for the knight. So queen c7, rook c1, and now we started kind of maneuvering the pieces. I really did not want her to put her knight over here, which is why I went b6, and I thought maybe I can annoy her in the sense of stopping all her plans, which is pretty fun to do. If you see that your opponent wants to do something and you do everything in your power to stop that idea, it makes you feel pretty good. So I really wanted to do that. So she went a4 because she wanted to go a5 to exchange this pawn for this one and, take away the pawn defending this square. So I said, no, I'm going to stop you again. So now she kind of didn't really know what to do. I think I decided to also just make a waiting move. And now I went knight e4, which I think is a mistake here. Here, if I would have gone queen c4, I would have an absolutely amazing chess position because she can never take back my queen because then I will just take and I'll win a little knight over here with this fork. So she can never do that. So my queen here would be amazingly placed, very active, but also threatening this pawn right here. And I might be able to win it at some point. So I went knight e4 because I wanted to activate my knight. I thought my knight over here was just not looking so good, and I wanted her to take so that I can maybe take over here her pawn. So she went knight e5, and I mean, I could have taken the pawn on g3. I decided to not do it at first, but I still thought that this was really good. And here I was really happy. You know, she cannot take my knight because I'll take her knight. And I was really happy here. Like, I was feeling like, hey, Anna, you're doing this. You're taking over the game. You might not lose, you know, all games against the kids. Because let me tell you something. Some people, you know, I did a little bit of digging around. And when I was in some Twitch channels, I saw some people say, Anna is going to lose all her games against the kids. It's going to be 8-0 for her. So I really, deep within my soul, did not want to lose 8-0. You know, I wanted to prove those people wrong. So I really wanted to win a couple of games here. Because, I mean, like I said, like, these kids were all stronger than me. But, like, I really wanted to, like, stand my ground here. So it really did matter to me a lot that I had a really good position. So queen c4, knight d4. I brought back the knight. This move was just not good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I went with my knight here. I just completely missed the tactic when I did it. I should have gone knight e4, but I completely missed the idea of going knight f5, which looks very strange, is that this knight cannot capture this because there's queen takes f4. But I completely missed this move that she did. Bishop f1. And now the issue that I have is that I'm forced to move my queen, but if I move my queen somewhere, she's going to be able to capture my knight, as the knight is not going to be pinned anymore. So I'm going to be in real trouble now. So I have no way of defending this knight with my queen, so I have to move my queen somewhere. So I went queen a2 to try to create some trouble with these pawns. But now I knew that I had blundered, and I was really mad. I was really sad, and I was like, oh no, like, how could I do this? I had such a great position. How could I blunder my knight to Megan? Like, this is just not good. So she obviously took my knight, and now she was probably feeling very confident. So I captured her pawn, and she did a fantastic move, e6. She's trying to explode the pawns in front of my king. Takes, and now my position is just really bad. In fact, it's so bad that she actually has a checkmate in 10 moves. Boom, you can try to find it, but I don't know if you will. 8 moves, actually. By going bishop d3 and just trying to checkmate me. My light squares are absolutely disastrous. They're so bad. She didn't do it though. Instead, she captured on e8, and I retreated my queen to get my queen, saving my king. So takes and takes. Queen f2, she started retreating a little bit, and I saw this king being kind of unsafe, and I thought, okay, I need to go against the king. So actually here, even though I am a piece down, I have right now 2 pawns for the piece, so it's actually not completely lost. So I started getting my hopes up here. We were both low on time. We had like 3 seconds left, and yeah, we sort of kind of moved our pieces around. I was just hoping she would blunder a checkmate on g2. That was everything I wanted. So queen g3, I started taking some pawns. The king escaped. I went for some more checks. Queen f4, queen here. We kind of went back and forth. Queen e4, and now, well, check. And now in this position, she did this move. The feeling I had when she went rook g3 was just out of this world. I think she just completely forgot that my rook was here. Like, I think she just literally missed that my rook was here. I think she just, yeah, she probably wanted to, because my rook is pinned right now, right? So I think she probably wanted to add some more pressure to the pin. And I think she just had, you know, a brain slip. Like, she just saw a ghost, basically. Like, she just, like, basically, like, you know, just saw something that wasn't there. And I was extremely happy. So she actually kept the game going, you know, a little bit after this. But I mean, in this position, I just exchanged everything, started pushing my pawn, and the king is not fast enough to stop the a pawn. And that was how the game ended. Megan resigned here. And so I thought, okay, I played against the first kid, and the score is 1-1. Come on, bring the kids, you know? Like, I can beat them on the chessboard. Like, you know, I was feeling pretty good here. I was like, all right, my chances are going to be quite good in this event. So after this, I had an extremely, and I mean extremely difficult opponent, probably the most difficult opponent of the event. And that opponent, everybody, was Alice. Alice, she is a FIDE master, and she is born 2009, so she's either 13 or 14 years old now. But can I just say something? Her classical rating is 2391. She's almost 2400 classical, which is absolutely insane at her age. Okay? But not only that, just a few weeks ago, she literally drew Hikaru in the Pro Chess League, which is just absolutely insane. I mean, what? Like, that is actually insane. She literally drew Hikaru, one of the strongest chess players in the world. So I knew that Alice, she was the person that everyone in this event feared. Like, she was extremely feared in this event. So intimidating, such a good chess player. I mean, you know, yeah, it was hard. It was hard. And the first game, once again, I got completely destroyed. But this was game number 2. And like I said, I was feeling pretty good because I was able to get a good win against Megan. So I'm going to show you the game. D4, D5, C4, C6. Now, can I just say something as well? You know, I am a person full of emotions. Like, when I play chess, I have emotions, you know? If you watch a lot of my videos, you will see that when I make a good move or bad move, whatever, you can see it on my face. I don't have a poker face. But what these kids had, that was a poker face. Like, whenever I was playing them, you know, because we had like the webcams on and stuff, like, you know, so that, you know, like I could see like, you know, their faces whilst they were thinking. And like, they just had a poker face. Like, they just looked bored. They just sat like this, you know? And just looked bored, and we're just playing fantastic chess. And I was like, how are you, like, how are your chess moves not like showing up on your face? I think that's actually quite a bad thing about me, that I just show too much emotions. Anyways, knight f3, e6. Now this became a semi-Slav defense. I went e3, and so far I was feeling good. Now it's very common to either go bishop d6, but at some point to take on c4, and you delay with taking here by waiting, you know, for this bishop to get out, so that I need to spend another move taking. Now b5, just to get the bishop to b7. She went castles, and here I went e4. Now here, by far, the best move is to go e5, which obviously Alice did. I mean, of course she does that. So e5, and I went d5 here. Now, this is honestly a line that I know is not supposed to be super good for white, but I've actually like beaten an FM in like blitz games, like, or in a like over the board blitz game with this. So I always get like good vibes from this opening, even though I know that it's not actually that good to play. So I just think I need to stop playing this whole e4 line. But anyway, so e5, I went d5. The idea is that I'm trying to exchange, you know, this pawn for this one. This is the pawn that's defending that pawn. So I'm just trying to go for some exchanges. And now she pushed the pawn, I captured the pawn, and now there was just a bunch of exchanges here. So bishop e5, this is a completely equal position, queen e7. And now I did something that you shouldn't do, okay? And I decided to give up my bishop pair. You shouldn't give up your bishop pair. You should not. I know it, especially in a position that is this open. Bishops thrive in open positions. This is a really open position because there is like no pawns here. So this is very open. My bishops are amazing. I did the very stupid mistake of going bishop takes d7, which is just like a terrible move. Now, the reason I did this was because I thought that I had seen a tactic and I got overly excited. You know, I was like smiling. I was like, wow, this is great. And she was just like, you know, like, what's going on? What are you seeing? And so, yeah, bishop takes d7. I just played a terrible move. I went knight takes e5. Now, the idea of this move is that I'm picking up a pawn, right? And she cannot take the knight back with the queen because of my bishop. So she has to take it back with this bishop if she's going to capture the knight. And if she captures it with this bishop, then I will take, and then take her bishop over here. Her bishop on d7 is right now defended by the queen, and, you know, this knight is attacked by the queen. So this queen becomes overused. I can't remember the word. But I just missed that she had this intermediate move, bishop b5, which is a great move. It gets the bishop out of its attack, and it also attacks my rook, so I need to do something about this rook. So I went knight d3 just to block this, but this is now a really difficult position because she can capture my pawn. And I went rook e1, threatening the queen, and, you know, but she just takes my piece. I try to create some sort of counterplay. But yeah, at the end, what happened was just that we got this endgame where she was a piece and a pawn up. Now, I know you're going to say, Anna, why are you still showing us this game? This is dead lost. But let me show you something, because this actually, even though it was dead lost, I'm going pretty fast now. I actually had the idea that if this bishop moved, I had a checkmate on g8. And I got excited about it, okay? I was like, maybe I'll get to a position where, like, I'm threatening. Wait, I got something in my eye. Where I'll be threatening like her rook, and she like almost be, what do I have in my eye? And she'll like be forced to somehow move her bishop. I don't know. So there were a lot of checks here, and I was just trying to get into a position where I was threatening, you know, both the rook and the bishop was like forced to move, because I'm also threatening this bishop right now with both my rooks. So the bishop has to move. So in this position, actually probably my last chance would have been to go rook takes d5, takes, and then take here. But, I mean, I would lose this pawn, and I would be 3 pawns down, and yeah, it would be a lost endgame. So I was still trying to go for my checkmate, but the moment she went f6, I realized that she was not going to fall for the checkmate, because now the bishop is defending on g8, and after she, well, okay, I blundered my rook. After she took my rook, I resigned, okay? 2-0 versus Alice. I lost against Alice 2 games in a row. And now, you know, I was starting to feel more optimistic, right? Because I thought, okay, I just played against the strongest kid out of them all here. It's only going to get better from here. So I started to remember again my game against Megan, and I was like, Anna, come on, you got this. We can beat some kids on the chessboard. And I started feeling more optimistic. So after this, it was time for me to face Tawny. Now, Tawny is a really strong FIDE master. He was born 2010, so he is either 12 or 13 right now. I actually met him when I was in New York a few months ago and played a game against him, and I uploaded a video on that. So I knew Tawny a little bit from before, and I thought, okay, if I'm gonna play a dubious opening against anyone, it's going to be against Tawny, because Tawny, I know he watches a few of my streams, and you know, he thinks that this kind of stuff is fun, right? So I was like, all right, let's play the cow opening against Tawny. I had to try it in one of the games. Now, when I played the cow opening, which if you've missed it, goes like this, you know, you put both of your knights on the sides over here on b3 and g3. The commentators of this event went basically, what is she doing? What is this opening? What's going on? Is this the cow? What is the cow opening? You know, and let me tell you, one of those commentators was a grandmaster. So I was kind of scared of having a grandmaster talk about the cow. I thought he was going to roast it. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So he actually decided to play sort of like a hippo versus the cow, where you basically just fee and kiddo both your bishops. So it became a really interesting position that I've never had with the cow. Now h5 was played, and when h5 is played, I always like playing h4 just to stop the push of this pawn. This is the way I like playing the cow. And then basically after a5, I go a4 as well. I just stop those flank pushes, you know? So knight h6, knight f3. Tawny got his knight up, and actually this position is completely equal according to the engine. So I started developing a little bit, and the position became totally fine. I wanted to take some center. He went d5, which was a great move. Bishop g5 and queen d2, which this move was probably a mistake. I should probably have castled. But yeah, I went queen d2 because I wanted to be able to go bishop f4 maybe. I thought that he was going to castle queenside, and I wanted to maybe be able to go bishop f4. So takes, knight e5. Now things were starting to look better for me. I saw that I had this bishop b5 check, but now he just went king f8 and just said, Anna, attack me if you can. My king is safe. But yeah, I went a little bit crazy here, okay? So I went f4, which I'm not gonna lie, I've realized the pattern in my games that whenever I go f4, I typically lose the game, so I just don't like going f4. Here, actually, I should have gone knight e2. And the idea of going knight e2 is that, I don't know, let's say that my opponent does like a very random opening, move, let's say like king g7. The idea is that I want to go f3, and I want my knight to not be attacked anymore by the bishop and the queen. And after f3, this knight is not so well placed. So I should have gone for something more like that. Instead, I went f4. And I castled. I really wanted to get, my rook opened up here. I wanted to get, the rook, the bishop, the other bishop, the queen involved towards the king. It was easier said than done. My bishop was trapped. Things got a little bit crazy. Things got a little bit crazy, and I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I had to sacrifice all my pieces. Honestly, we don't really need to look at this game. Why did I? Okay, we don't need to see this. Okay, bad things happen in my game against Tawny. I just got reminded of those painful memories. This is not a good game. Okay. Honestly, guys, can I get a positive comment for just showing you when I get destroyed by kids? I need some positivity here. I'm telling you, I really hate playing kids at chess. Like, I'm getting destroyed by them, I just don't understand. These kids are so insanely good at the game. All right, so I'm going to show you now my final game. And this game was against Brewington, a very strong FIDE master who is also born in 2009. So basically like 13 years old, but who also has 2 international master norms. This kid is almost an international master. I mean, it's insane. So let's go ahead and see that game. I'll show that one to you as well. Here I had the black pieces. And e4, c5. I went for another Sicilian. The cow didn't work against Tawny. Levy told me to not play the cow. He was like, Anna, if you do something, just please don't play the cow. And I did it once, didn't work. All right, decided to leave it for another time, which let me tell you, I've played lots of games with the cow and I'm still winning with it. So it's not a cow problem. It's a me problem. So yeah, this became a very normal Sicilian, but with bishop b5. So this is like a more close Sicilian where white doesn't go d4 and explodes the center. So here, just basically get the knight up to the center. That's pretty common. I actually don't really like playing these positions. I went a6 here. The bishop retreats to d3. And sometimes the idea is to push this pawn and then just get this bishop becoming really active. So I went b5, which... it's not a great move. Honestly, you guys can probably see that my biggest issue is openings. I play like not amazing like openings because, well, I just haven't studied theory in a few years, which is why I'm right now in the process of learning some new openings, which is pretty exciting. But anyway, so knight e2, queen b6. I wanted to defend the pawn, and this is not super weird. This is actually pretty standard. Now d takes c3, and this is actually like a totally fine opening. So now I started developing my pieces. I was kind of surprised that this knight went over here because I wasn't sure where the knight was gonna go. So knight f6, e5. I thought that this was good for me because I thought that, okay, now my bishop is gonna be insanely strong in this diagonal. So I went for this intermediate move, queen c6, threatening a checkmate. Kind of hoping Brewington would miss it, but obviously he did not. So queen c6, threatening checkmate. But what I actually wanted to do was that I actually wanted to provoke f3. Because after my opponent is forced to move this pawn up one step, now this diagonal is going to be open. Which means that I can get my bishop out with check at some point. But not only that, I can go right now, queen c5 check, and win this pawn. So actually, I was able to find a line where I won a pawn, and I got really excited. I thought that was a great game. Great opening, fantastic position against Brewington. So, rookie one, started developing, went h6, kicking away the bishop. Now he gave me the bishop pair, so I thought this was fantastic. We got a few more exchanges. I basically wanted to get my rook activated over here. And here I went queen g5 because I wanted to exchange. So, bishop c6. I castled. I wasn't sure if this was good, but there was just like a bunch of trades. And after rook g4 and queen here, basically what happened was that this became an equal rook endgame in all sense possible. So I probably shouldn't have traded queens like crazy. I just really wanted to draw Brewington. This was the final game of the whole event, and I just wanted to draw. Is that too much to ask for? I had literally up till this point lost every single game apart from my win against Megan, the first game. So, you know, after losing 6 games in a row, everything you want is a draw. Let me tell you that. So here, King G7, I was trying to get my king up, and Rook A8, I just didn't want to lose my A pawn. A3, and now I made a mistake in the endgame. Okay, I was really low on time here. I'm gonna put that as my excuse. I don't have an excuse. No, honestly, I do think I play better in longer time controls than I play in blitz. I think that my chess is just much better when I have a little bit more time to think. I was pretty low in time here, and I just made a blunder, which was A5. This move is just a terrible blunder. My idea of this was just that I wanted to go B4, and I wanted to basically like trade everything and then go like Rook B8 and just like pick up everything, which is a beautiful dream. But the issue with A5, and this is a great thing to remember, is that there's this move Rook B7, and now my pawn has no defender, and I have no way of defending this pawn. So you may say, Anna, it's just a pawn, but let me tell you, if you're playing as an FM, one pawn is quite a lot. So yeah, after Rook takes B5, I probably had to go Rook D1 check or something, but I just didn't want to lose any of my pawns. I went King F6 with the idea of just basically defending this pawn. Now, he went B4, and I took, went Rook check, and I just started checking and got my Rook behind the other pawn. So Brewington defended the pawn, and now he started marching the 2 pawns down the board, you know? And I got scared because I knew where those pawns were going. So I had to stand behind those pawns, but actually this position is really difficult to play right now. I mean, this is probably a lost position at this point because of the fact that I'm a pawn down. So I really tried to fight creating my own pass pawn, but he kept on pushing, and now I had a few tiny dreams. Rook A7, king up here. Now I had a few dreams because actually his internet was disconnecting. His internet was disconnecting, you know, this pawn is falling. I'm gonna end up being in a position where my king is right now cut off, and I'm probably gonna lose this pawn as well. So, but the main issue is that my king is gonna be cut off, and there's gonna be like no way for my king to like defend from like these pawns pushing. So in this position, I just did, you know, one last blunder. I went Rook takes A5 when I had like a second left. And then after Rook E5 check, I realized that I'm right now just losing a rook. And here I lost the game. So, moral of the story, everybody. I lost 7 out of 8 No, I'm kidding. I lost 7 out of 8 games against the kids. I won 1 game. It was extremely sad, you know? But the streamers won. So my team won. I'm happy about that. The other people in the team performed really well. Eric Rosen won all games, like literally took 8 out of 8. Insane result. And we ended up winning. So I was happy about that. So yeah, guys, this is literally me making a video about how I lost against kids. But you know what? We gotta be honest out there. These kids deserve the praise. These kids are amazing. I wish all the best to them. They are incredible chess players, incredible prodigies, and they have a very bright future in chess. So I wanted to showcase how well they played to all of you so that you could see how good they are. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video where I basically just get destroyed. But thank you so much for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and let me know what your favorite game was, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.